If you're rocking a relaxer or you're thinking about coming over to my side and joining the Creamy Crack crew, today's video is for you. I'm going to share with you 5 myths regarding relaxers. Myth number 1 is that the goal of relaxer is to get it bone straight. That's not the goal. The point where it's like bone straight, silky straight, overly straight. 9 times out of 10, you're over processing your hair. Y'all probably like, what are you talking about? I put a relaxer on, I want my hair straight. Yes, there are different levels and degrees of straightness depending on your natural hair's texture. So if you are getting to the point where your hair is about to slide off your head when you rinse the relaxer out, sis, you're doing too much. You don't need all of that. It's too straight. A couple of things happen when you get your hair bone straight. And the first thing is you lose the elasticity of your hair. Elasticity is the ability of your hair to stretch and bounce back to its natural shape without breaking. So if you're relaxing your hair so much that you no longer have elasticity in it, any stretching, pulling, tension on the hair, instead of it popping back to its natural form, it's going to pop off your head. Another thing that happens when you make your hair bone straight is that it's so much harder to get it to keep a style. There is benefit to having some texture and a little bit of our natural curl left behind, even though we are relaxing the curl to a certain amount. But taking all of the curl away where you no longer resemble like what the hair is supposed to do is just a bit much, and it makes it harder for your style to last. Myth number 2 is that burning is the indicator of when you should rinse your relaxer out. Myth. It's not the truth. Stop it. I'm the hair trying to like call out to y'all. Burning is not the indicator of when the relaxer is to come out. There is a time frame based on the hair that is being relaxed and the strength or particular chemical you're using to straighten or relax the hair. Ain't nowhere in there is the equation that you're supposed to relax the hair until you start to burn. So many heads of hair have been overprocessed and damaged and are sliding down the sink because somebody felt like it wasn't time to rinse it out because they weren't burning. Relaxers are time-based. So depending again on the texture of the hair, the strength or the chemical that's being used, there should always be an indicator in the manual for the relaxer that tells you how long the relaxer is supposed to be processed. And that starts the minute that the relaxer is applied. Don't be sitting around waiting for your hair to burn, leaving relaxer on. You are sure to damage the integrity of the hair if you make that your practice. A good practice is before you start processing your relaxer, before you put your gloves on or however you're doing it, whether this is happening in the salon or at the house, because I know y'all be doing it at the house, wherever this is taking place, a good practice and habit is to set a timer. Y'all know we are AI crazy these days, so tell Alexa or tell Siri to hold space for you and tell you when you are supposed to rinse your hair off. We're not going to wait on your hair to burn. And if it burns before the allotted time, it's time to take yourself to the shampoo bowl, to the sink, wherever the water is going to rinse that hair out, head there. Myth number 3 is that any shampoo will do the job after a relaxer. And if it's on my list, y'all know it's a myth. There is a specific shampoo service that should be performed after a chemical service, whether it be relaxers, because we're talking about relaxers, but also behind your color services. And it is a normalizer or neutralizing shampoo, hence the name. And this is because relaxers change our hair's pH. Once your pH is shifted, if you go in and just use whatever you had up under the sink, because it effectively rinses the chemical out of your hair in shampoos and cleanses, and you think it's clean and you going on with your life, the pH of your hair needs to be back normalized. Myth number 4, relaxers cause cancer. myth. I could not wait to really break this down. I wanted to do it compassionately and with tact because I have had so many questions, so many DMs, so many comments regarding this. Because we all know someone who has an experience with cancer, I tread lightly, respectfully, compassionately around the topic. We have to be very careful and more, how do I want to say it? Intentional about diving into information for ourselves. If you go to Google right now and you put in the search, does relaxers cause cancer? The first thing that will populate is 3 to 4 lawsuits that are going around. I don't listen to the radio a lot. I recently listened to the radio and I've heard commercials running on local radio here in Dallas promoting lawsuits for women who have had issues or concerns or developed cancer and have also had relaxers. As someone who rocks a relaxer and services women and has for over 20 years who also wear relaxers, I have been doing them for years. So it's very important to me that I stay informed with what is current in regards to cosmetics and their links to cancer and any other disorders or diseases. I completely understand why there is a concern and why people are asking questions. I'm not at all saying just act like it's not happening and it's not a concern, but for yourself, do your research. My research that I've been doing over years and even most recently has helped me to draw the conclusion that a lot of this, especially the lawsuits and things like that, are about money. I'll drop in the description for you to check out yourself the latest articles and research that has drawn people to be up in arms. It's not different from what's drawn people to be up in arms before, but read for yourself. I really urge you, if you have had any concern about this, to go to the description and read the entire article. And I'm not talking about somebody's blog post, somebody's opinion, some attorney's scare tactic to get people on the bandwagon. I'm talking about what the National Cancer Society has published as the most recent information on this study. And it blatantly says, I'll actually throw it up, an excerpt, if you don't want to go and read the whole article, but it says that it is inconclusive that relaxers cause cancer. The research does not show that relaxers cause cancer. It is not lost on me. Again, I will say that there are many factors that we as women, and specifically black women who use chemical services, need to be aware about. Another thing I want to point out in regards to the correlation between chemicals, specifically relaxers, and cancer, do that. If you continue to read the article and also just do a little bit of research on some of the things that you and I voluntarily and involuntarily ingest, consume, and do as a part of our lifestyles, there are so many things that have direct correlation. There's scientific proof that they are related to increased occurrences of cancer that we ingest and do all day long. Cigarettes, tobacco, smoking hookah, taking medication, not being active, poor nutrition, all pollution, all kind of stuff. But let somebody say that there is a 0.25 chance that relaxers are linked to cancer, and oh my goodness. Read the article for yourself, and let's just respect everybody's choices to do what they want to do with their hair, with their life as a whole. If it's not infringing on you, you may read the article and still deem that you don't want to have a relaxer, and that's fine. But shaming people who prefer to wear their hair relaxed based on and touting something as cancer to scare them out of it, when science scientific proof has not correlated the two. It's just dead wrong, and I don't like it. And finally, the last relaxer myth that I want to just debunk and get out of these streets, off the blogs, off the forums, is that going from wearing a relaxer, growing your relaxer out, and going natural is going to make your hair healthy. I have had so many women over the years come to me to get their hair done, coming from being natural for an amount of time. They're coming back to a relaxer, and I like to just find out what is making them make this change, because your lifestyle when you're rocking a relaxer and when you're rocking your hair natural, we all know is different. So I like to talk to my guests to make sure that they're informed and just to have a little background on why they're making this decision. I can't tell y'all how many times people sit in my chair and say that they only went natural or stayed natural because they wanted their hair to be healthy. That's a myth. Rocking a relaxer or rocking your hair natural does not automatically deem that your hair is going to be healthy. Healthy hair exists in both natural and relaxed hair. It depends on how you're caring for your hair and your body, what you're putting in your body that is aiding in the health of your hair. The hair exists outside of whether or not your hair is relaxed or natural. There are some people who have unhealthy hair and they relaxed, and some people with unhealthy hair natural. So it's not an automatic indicator of whether or not your hair is going to be healthy. So let's get rid of that myth and just focus on having healthy hair no matter what state it's in. So let's run this thing back so we can just get rid of this stuff for once and for all. Myth number one, the goal of relaxing your hair is for it to be bone straight. Myth. Number two, burning is the indicator of when you're supposed to rinse that relaxer out of your head. Myth. Number three, any shampoo will work to rinse the relaxer out. Myth. Number four, relaxers cause cancer. Myth. And number five, going from relaxed to natural will make your hair healthy. That is a myth. Now that we've cleared up some myths about relaxers, I hope you found it helpful. And if you're looking for the best products to style your short, relaxed hair at home, check out this video on my favorite short hair staples.